All right. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. I saw your post on Instagram just 30 minutes ago, whatever.
Yeah.
I was excited. So I like that. How did you get your hair to do that in
I have a lot of hair. A lot of hair.
Yeah. So it looked cool. It was a good picture.
Thanks.
Yeah. I was like, did you have somebody, you know how they sometimes they'll have somebody like using a hair dryer or a blower or something,
Yeah.
blowing the hair up.
Nope, just holding it.
Yeah.
Nice camera time, and yeah.
There you go. Nice. You are in the UK
Yep.
and you play, I think, at the same fields with a lot of people I've talked to recently at Dirty Dog.
No, actually, we play at mainly Airsoft Plantation in
Oh,
Essex,
Okay.
but also West Midlands Airsoft, which is nearer to me. But majority of our team's in Essex, so a lot of the time our main site is Airsoft Plantation.
Okay. So
We
is
want
that
to go up to Dirty Dog, but not
okay?
just yet. It is in the plans for the team to go there. So
Gotcha. I was going to say I'm not familiar with the locations and all that, like where you guys are around, but
yeah,
I know I I follow a lot of you guys that play in that area, and a handful of the airsoft ladies I've talked to in the last couple weeks or whatever play like all in that area. Dirty Dog, Halo Mills, and I guess Airsoft Plantation.
yeah. To be fair, we don't have a lot of girl players in the sites that we go to.
Yeah.
So trying to get a few more within the team. But I think we have 3 girls in our team, and we've only ever seen maybe 1 or 2 of the girls at Airsoft Plantation. I think I've only seen 1 other girl at West Midlands Airsoft, so it's a
Okay.
bit of a strange thing. You can tell it's new for the staff when there's a girl on site, because they just start shouting, "Guys, and come on, guys," and they're like, "And girls." Like, it's fine, we're used to it. I don't mind.
Right. Exactly. Well, I guess one of the common things I've heard too is when you girls are out there playing, and like most people don't know because you're all geared up. They don't know sometimes if you're a female or not, and they'll shoot you, and you call your hit, and they're like, "Oh, it's a girl." Okay. Yeah.
You get a lot more people saying sorry when they hear the feminine voice of hit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, there's a reason I'm here. I don't mind. Like, if I
Right.
get hit, I get hit. I'm not playing good enough. So
Listen, I'm going to tell you right
it
now,
comes with it.
I would never say I'm sorry. Like, if you're on the field, like, you're just like me, okay? Like, we're all
Yeah.
in this together. So, yeah, that's
I've shot people in the face. I've shot men in places that they don't want to be shot in, but
oh,
it comes. You can't help it. You just go, "I'm sorry, but that was a good
hey,
shot."
yeah, right. Yeah, it happens.
It does.
So, how did you get into airsoft?
So when my friend basically posted a picture, I used to work with her years ago, and she posted a picture of her and some of the team, and I actually thought one of the guys in the team looked really cute. So I messaged him, and then eventually we started dating, and he convinced me to go to a game. It was something I always wanted to try. I've seen videos and I thought, oh, that looks fun. And I've got friends that have been and they've spoken about it. So I was a bit like, oh, that looks kind of fun. My first game, I was petrified. I was so scared.
Really?
I didn't know what I was doing. My other half had bought all of my gear for me, so I didn't know what was going on. I was just kind of running around with my MP5, like, okay, where do we go now? Who do I get to shoot? But then kind of after the second game, I got really competitive. I was like creeping up on my own to the opposite team, and from there it just has become a bit of an obsession now. I've spent way too much money on gear, and
Oh, yeah.
after my first game, the Airsoft Plantation where we go, they do something called Airsoft competitions. where you can enter a competition to win an airsoft gun. So after my first game, my other half had just recently bought a Scar H, and on airsoft competitions they had a Scar L in black, and I love black, so I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go for this." I think I spent £60 on tickets, and I won it. So
nice.
after my first game of airsoft, spent £60 in tickets, and I won a £500 gun. So
Oh my gosh,
I was over the moon, and yeah, I loved it.
that is cool. And then you got hooked, and now you're all into it. And yeah, that's usually what happens. Like everyone I've talked to, as soon as they go to their first game, like I've never met anyone that says, "Yeah, I tried airsoft and I didn't like it." Like it just never happens. Like they go and they're like, "Okay, now I got to get some real good shit and get out there every weekend."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're mainly like outdoor players as well. We went to our first CQB site a couple of weeks ago. I was so scared. My anxiety was through the roof. I was shaking. I didn't know what I was doing. We didn't know the site either. And I was like, it's so close. What am I going to do? Like screaming internally. And then I think after the first game, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. I know where I'm going. I know how we can get there. And just like, was trying to make tactics and come up with a plan. And it was just so fun. And majority of the team haven't done CQB for quite some time. So to be able to do that's gotten everybody's love for it as well. And we met another team that are mainly indoors, and we've kind of made a bit of a friendship with them. So we've said we'll go up to their normal site, which is a bit further up north to us, and play a game at their local site as well.
That is cool. Yeah, it's cool to be around everybody that's as passionate about it as you are. Once you get involved, and it doesn't take long, like you said. As soon as you go to that first event, you're like, you get competitive. Once you get in there, it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. You don't really have to know everything or even have the best gear. Yeah. It's that competitive, passionate gameplay that it makes it fun,
Yeah. As long as you get to shoot at somebody, I'm happy.
Right. I know. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about how some of the guys they played with in the past used to just attack some of the new players just to kind of like, say they got the kill or whatever. And, these are like young, the first time they're out there, young kids or whatever. And they're like, bro, don't do that, man. That's, because, you're not going to have fun if you're spending most of your time in respawn, Yeah. That sucks. But when you have enough people out there to play and, have a competitive game, especially a really close game, it makes it fun.
Yeah, there was a young lad and his dad who were there, and his dad had played but not for years, but he was like a ninja. So he was in this bright red hoodie as well, so he wasn't like blended in like in a dark kind of anything. He was just standing out like a sore thumb, but he was that quick. He'd like run in and just like get everybody in the room, and you all stood there like, what? He just abandoned his kid to like do his own thing. It was like, yeah, you do what you want to do. I'm going to go and start shooting people.
That's funny. Oh yeah, that happens. So what is that? What is that hoodie you got on there? You got your own personalized.
Yeah, this is my little Tactical Fox hoodie. Got the team name on the back as well. We're Team Bear. So yeah. I
think I saw that on your Instagram. Your team name was on there. And your Instagram name is Tactical Fox.
Yeah.
That looks cool. So you had that
Thank
made?
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually designed the logo.
I was just going to ask
myself.
You about that. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend, we call her the Tactical Raccoon because she's always in black and grey.
Nice.
So when I started, she was like, "Oh, you must be the Tactical Fox because you have red hair." And then for Christmas, I designed my logo and her logo. So she's got raccoon ears and a raccoon tail.
Oh, cool.
And I had them made into patches. So we've got our own patches now that are literally the exact same. So this is the digital version.
Yeah.
And I sent them to a patch company and they made patches for us of them, which was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I like to see how people come up with their designs, their logos and the names and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that is cool.
I'm quite creative, so I kind of just I Google fox ears, a fox tail, and
Yeah,
then just put a black circle in the middle, got an outline, and then just got the Tactical Fox Airsoft written around the edge.
that is nice. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I met you through Instagram, where I've met most everybody in the last probably month that I've done a podcast with, and probably I've met a lot of you guys out in the UK, and I had no
Oh,
clue until I started, kind of. Actually, I didn't search. When I did the first podcast with Chloe from Englefield Echo, or her channel is Englefield Echo, she joined our Discord. I don't even know how. She couldn't remember how she joined our Discord, and I saw her because I always check our Discord, like new members, welcome, whatever. And I saw her on there, and I saw she had a YouTube channel. I was like, oh, okay, she plays airsoft, whatever, all this stuff. And then it just kind of that took me down the rabbit hole of all these airsoft players in the UK, and I was like, holy cow, man, there's so many, and I met so many people from that area. And like I said, I don't know like the geography of where you guys are, all the different places and stuff, but you guys all follow each other on Instagram, and I see all these different names. So yours popped up, and I was like, hey, do a podcast, and I was glad you were able to come on here and talk some airsoft stuff. So it's cool.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Now, did you?
Yeah, I was going to say I think with paintball is quite a popular thing in the UK.
Mm,
So when airsoft became known, because people enjoyed paintball, but airsoft is more kind of the military side of it,
right.
we kind of, I think, preferred it. So now airsoft's becoming more known than paintball.
For sure.
Paintball's becoming the for 10 years and young, like under 10s, under 50s, if they want to just have a little bit of fun.
Right.
But then when you want to get serious, you come over to airsoft. It's a lot more fun and
Yeah.
a bit more tactical. So yeah, no, I think airsoft's definitely becoming more popular than paintball now.
I think so too. Yeah, that's been happening for quite a few years. When I first got out of the military, see, I don't have experience with airsoft as far as playing on the fields with these guys, and my experience was, of course, the military, and then as far as the tactical stuff, and then the paintball. So I played paintball for years after I got out of the military, and it was, I loved it. It was the same kind of experience. I went to my first game with some guys I worked with, and then I like on the way there, I didn't have a paintball gun. On the way there, I stopped at a store and bought this cheap ass, about to break in half kind of little pump action. It sucked. I was able to shoot with it, but it was horrible. And after that first game, I was okay. I got to get some more stuff, better stuff. And then we played all the time, every other weekend or whatever. And I was, I was pretty into it for a while. And then I got my kids into it when they were young. They went with me for a few games. But that when these guys started getting to airsoft, and I started the YouTube channel and started running that, and I saw their gameplay footage, and I saw the guns that they were getting and I was getting in these mystery boxes. I was like, bro, this is so cool. This is what paintball is missing, is that military side. The replica guns,
Yeah.
and because it's like most of the paintball you see is like, and that's what I played, was the inflatable, obstacle, or shelter, or cover, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was real colorful, and it was fast paced. Most of it was fast paced, and then airsoft is like this whole full like military simulation kind of thing with real looking guns. Like replica guns. Like you said, you have an MP5.
Yeah.
You can never find that in paintball. At the time, I think they're starting to make some like that now, but yeah, it's airsoft is way more popular, and I think that's why, because you have so many options, for different types of guns, not just the different styles, but you have gas blowback, you have electric blowback, you have, AEGs, you have the pistols that do all different kind of pistols and stuff. It's a really cool setup the way they have all those different options.
Yeah, like I want so many guns, it's unreal. I'll see one, I'm like, can I have this one, please? Can I have this one? Like, I just want them all. They're like, I can't make my mind up on which one that I want. Yeah, I keep saying, oh, I want a Scorpion Evo, and then no, but I want this one. No, I want an AK. Like, I just can't make my mind up. But I think at the moment, my gun bag broke when I went to CQB because it was that heavy. Because I had my SCAR. I had my SCAR L, I had my MP5, I had my magazines for all, and my P226 pistol as well. I went to pick it up, the strap just completely snapped off. So I've got to get a new gun bag at the moment. So can't afford to get any more guns currently because I don't have a bag to put them in. But yeah, no, I keep looking at more and I keep thinking, oh no, I'll wait. And I always enter the competitions at the Airsoft competitions page, and just in case.
Yeah, that's a common thing. When these guys first started, they went to their first mil sim and they're like, "Oh shit, we don't have anything to put all our guns and all this." So they start buying gun bags, because we have, they grew up, two of the guys on our channel are my sons. So when they were growing up, I've always had real steel guns, and then they started getting some of their own. And so they had gun cases for the real steel stuff, but they started buying all this other stuff for the airsoft thing. They have totes, big plastic totes of just endless gear of, and they're like, they bought this one bag, gun bag. They're like, this one sucks, because they try to take it to a milsim with all their stuff in it. It's like, nope, we got to get a different one. So it's like this rabbit hole of, trying out these new things that fit whatever you're trying to do for that event. Yeah, it's that's a real common thing. And that's a big difference with paintball too, is, when I was in paintball, it was, you don't have a lot of options. So it was like, whatever you want to wear. And we didn't, it was like a t-shirt and jeans or whatever. And then, because you're not trying to hide, because you're, it's like a fast paced kind of like CQB kind of thing. And you didn't really have, like, I never had I put all my stuff in a duffel bag or my military backpack that I had. And it was like a couple things, your tank and your gun. It was like, that was it. You never had to take a backup gun. These guys they take like 2 backup guns because one's going to break or whatever.
Yeah, my MP5 is my backup gun. I always use my SCAR, but if I have my MP5 as a backup gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny. Now, did you grow up around where you live now?
Yeah, so I've literally pretty much grown up in the same area my whole life. Yeah.
Now,
it's
do you
pretty
have friends that you grew up with that know you're in airsoft? And
yeah, I have a couple of friends. They think I'm crazy, but I think it's just because they see the posts that I post of me with my SCAR and all my military equipment, and they're just like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" But I mean, a majority of my friends are the guys in the airsoft group anyway, right. So they kind of we just appreciate each other when it comes to, oh, you've got a new this, like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. But I have some friends that I kind of have grown up with, and they're just a bit like, you're a bit crazy, but okay, we'll deal with it. But I've got one friend that actually, she's like my oldest friend, so we've known each other since we were like 3 years old, and we're like 24, 25 now. And she actually lives in the States now. She lives in Idaho. Oh, okay. So I don't get to see, she moved there about 11, 12 years ago now. And she's just started going out and like doing some shooting, like going off on the golf carts around the middle of nowhere and doing that. And then I like post my pictures of me doing airsoft. She's like, that's so cool. You should come shoot a real gun over here with me when you come over again. I'm like, I'll stick to airsoft, thanks. You come with me to an airsoft site next time I visit there. She's like, yeah, go on then. So yeah, no, some of my friends are a bit cautious, but I love it. I'm
Yeah.
like absolutely love it.
Are any of the guys you play with people that you grew up with, like in that area, like you knew from
No,
school?
no. So I went to one of those schools that not many people stayed in touch with each other after.
Hmm.
So I think the only people I've stayed in touch with is one of the girls that wasn't even in my year group. We met during a school production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh shit!
So we've
What was
been
you
friends.
guys did like a play or something?
Yeah, so we were in the dance
Okay.
company for the Little Shop of Horrors production that our school put on. And that was like my last year at school. And she was a couple of years younger than me, but she's like my little sister. So we
Yeah.
stayed in touch over the years, and we still talk now. And then I've got my other friend who I met when I went to college, and we've been friends for years. But she is too scared to go to Airsoft. My second friend, my first friend, her boyfriend loves it. So me, him, and my other half were like going to arrange to go to a game together, but she's nowhere near coming near an airsoft gun. She won't know what she's doing. She's absolutely petrified.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, neither of my closest friends I think would be into it, unfortunately, which is
Yeah.
a shame because I think it would be fun. But um, my friend Anastasia, who's actually the one who introduced me, and my other half, she's massive into it like me. So she's the tactical
Oh.
raccoon, but
Oh yeah.
hers is Drop Dead Airsoft
Okay.
on Instagram. But
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
she's my tactical raccoon. I'm her tactical fox kind of thing. So
Nice. That is cool. So you said like dance and stuff like that. Did you grow up doing dance? Like were you taking dance classes or?
I did gymnastics.
Oh, okay.
And trampoline gymnastics for way too many years. You'll have to see me, like anybody who knows me at an airsoft site, I'll be there like a full back brace on just to be sure that my back's okay during like carrying all my heavy equipment. I'll be laid down in between games because my back's killing me. And it's
Oh,
all just been from gymnastic injuries over the years. It's
really?
absolutely knackered
Okay.
my back, yeah. But
Yeah,
I deal with the pain for airsoft. It's worth it.
that's worth it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's we put one of our daughters in gymnastics and one of our sons when they were real little, but they only did it for like 1 or 2 years. Now, both of our daughters we put into dance, and my youngest daughter,
Mm.
she was actually pretty good. She liked it, so she went. She stayed in dance a lot longer than our other daughter, and she did like competitions. We would travel from state to state, doing dance competitions, and so when you were talking about that, but it was we don't have a lot of experience with the gymnastics stuff, but I know it's pretty rigorous.
Yeah, it can be. I
It's
mean,
really physical.
with the Little Shop of Horrors production, it was it was my last year at my high school, and I was like, right, I want to get in on this production. I don't care what I do, whether I'm just stage crew, whether I'm on stage, whether I'm just like help like organize it. I just wanted to be involved in something within my school before I left, and the Little Shop of Horrors production became a thing. And they put me in charge of the dance company, which was pretty cool. So I
Oh,
was like
that's cool.
choreographing the dances. Never done dance before in my life, but for some reason they felt the need that they could trust me with that. So
Sure.
yeah, and that's how I met my first friend, Celine. She was helping me choreograph the dances throughout the whole production. So we literally spent 8 hours a day, 7 days a week with each other for about
Oof.
5 or 6 months, just kind of
Oh my
in school,
gosh.
in between classes, talking about the dances, going through the dances, in the break room, doing the dances, making sure they looked right, and then teaching them in the after school kind of classes to show the dance group what we've come up with. And yeah, it was an experience, and I'm glad that I did it. It
Yeah.
was it was something that I was like, right, I need to do something before I leave to school. I am not going out without doing one of these productions. And
Well, that's good.
I went in for it, and yeah, I got that. But gymnastics, I think I started really young, really young. I think
Yeah.
I was watching the Olympics one year, and I just did I tried to copy them and took out my TV, so had to. My mum was like, "Right, off to gymnastics classes you go."
Oh, that's
But
funny.
yeah, going to trampolining because I went to see a gymnastics centre and there was trampolining classes
Okay.
going on at the same time. I was like, I want to do that instead.
Yeah.
And then competed nationally from 2016, I think it was, up until obviously COVID 2019, and
Okay.
everything stopped. And then last year I retired because I just couldn't get back into it. My back was too much, and trying to get back into the moves that I used to be able to do just wasn't happening for me, and
Right.
just got frustrated. So I said,
Yeah.
maybe I'll come out of retirement in a few years' time, we'll see. But at the moment, my money's going towards horses and airsoft, nothing
Oh my
more.
gosh. You guys grew up with horses and stuff too, like around your house?
No, so I always wanted a horse though,
Oh,
but
okay.
I quite enjoy horse riding. So when I retired from gymnastics, I was like, right, this money is going into my horse riding now. So I've been doing like lessons and things recently.
Oh, okay.
But I've always, like, whenever me and my family went on holiday in the UK or anywhere, I was like, right, we need to find a horse riding centre near here now so I can do it while I'm here. We used to go to Greece every year
Oh, wow.
to Zakynthos, and we'd go horse riding every time we went through the Olive Gardens. When I came over to like Idaho, because we did this massive kind of road trip, I hired a car. This was 2018. I hired a car. I flew out, met my friend at Salt Lake City airport,
Nice.
and met my car there, and then we drove from we went from Salt Lake City airport to Denver, Colorado,
Oh my gosh.
where one of my friend's aunties lives, so we stayed with her for a bit. And I'm a massive Denver Broncos fan, so for me, I was
shit.
losing my mind going through Denver. It was amazing. And then we went through. We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to Yellowstone. We kind of ventured to Wyoming. We just literally did everything that we could possibly do, with like Flagstaff, Four Corners Monument.
Oh my
I
god.
literally just tried to get through everything. We wild camped in the middle of Navajo Nation, which was terrifying, but like it was just part of the adventure, and it was so fun. And we did it all in 1 week. So I drove, I think it was
Holy crap.
2,500 miles in 1 week.
What?
Just me driving as well. I was like, I'm not putting anybody else on the car insurance because it's too expensive. So it was literally just me driving this whole week of 2,500 miles. It was ridiculous. But luckily I had another week there, so I could just relax for the final week, just get my sleep properly.
Yeah. No
I
kidding.
never drove a car after that for while I was out there. But we went western riding near Yellowstone Park, and that was amazing.
Oh, that's
Absolutely incredible.
Now they have where you can take the horse like up trails and stuff like that. Is that what they like in the woods?
Yeah. So we do that. We have a lot of places. Kind of, if you go on holiday in the UK somewhere, there's bound to be a horse trekking centre nearby. Whether they do like just basic walks through the woods, or whether they go like onto a beach ride or go up into the mountains, sometimes depending where you are. But yeah, whenever we've been on holiday, I'm like, right, we need to find a horse riding centre now.
Oh, that's cool.
As soon as we get in, the first thing I'm doing is looking for a leaflet or Googling for a horse riding centre. I'm like, right, even if we're there for 3 days, I'm like, one of these days I'm going horse riding. I am doing it.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, you stay busy, it sounds like.
Yeah, I am a very busy person.
Yeah, you're active, you got shit to do. Here we go, let's do this.
Like even today I was like, right, I've got the podcast at 5. So I'm going to go into the town centre. I'm going to do some shopping. And we then went to the supermarket to get some food for the house. Then when I came home, I was like, right, I'm going to wash my car because it needs cleaning. So I literally started cleaning the car, I think it was at about 2:30. I finished at 4:45. So spent a good hour and 15 minutes. And that's only the exterior of my car.
Oh
But,
my God.
it needed a good clean. I hadn't cleaned it through winter, which is really bad of me, but it needed a good clean. So I spent a lot of time on it. Usually I can spend about 2 to 3 hours cleaning my car. So one and a bit's
Oh
not
yeah.
that much.
That is yeah, you're on the go. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm so, like, I love Airsoft so much, because it's constantly moving. You're constantly
Right.
having to do something. So,
For
like,
sure.
I'm there, like, right, I need to get to this point over here to get this objective. How am I going to do
Hmm.
that? And then just, like, planning it. I'm constantly, my brain never stops.
Yeah, I with the horse riding thing, I rode a horse a couple times in my life, and one of them was a really good experience. We went down. I was still in the military at the time, and me and my buddies were like looking for something to do on the weekend besides, or not besides drink, to include drinking, but also to do something else.
Yeah.
And, it was we found this horse place down in by San Diego, California, and they let you ride the horse on the beach. So where they're set up, it's like maybe a quarter mile. It's not far from the beach, but the horses know where to go. They're like, so you
Yeah.
pick up the horse there. Once you get set on, and they make sure the horse, connects with you okay, like where it's not gonna, try to get rid of you, and and then they just let you go, and you go down this trail, and it goes right to the beach. And we rode these horses full steam, like full speed, back and forth, right on the sand. It was a really cool experience. So I
Yeah.
never had a bad experience with riding horses, but I don't have a lot of experience with it.
I always kind of wanted to grow up with them because I just loved them so much. The thing is,
Yeah.
when you're riding them, it's the freedom you get from it.
Hmm.
It's when you're going full pelt, it's just you're gripping on for dear life. Like you will not let go because you're fearing like you're gonna fall. But at the same time, it's just the freedom you feel when you're on the back of that horse that's going like 30, 40 miles per hour. It's amazing. You can't
It
beat the
is.
feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. And the first time I got on a horse, I was like, I guess, really impressed with how strong they are.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're big, but, I guess, growing up, seeing all these Westerns, you just
Yeah.
don't really. And then, so the first time I got on one, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, it feels cool to, ride like that.
You often find as well, like that the Western horses, like that you see in like the rodeos and things like that, are often athletically built. But
Hmm.
then when you go to a centre where you're like a trekking centre or a hacking centre, as we call them, they're kind of a lot more stocky, and they're kind of a lot bigger,
Mm.
just because they obviously have to deal with different weights of people on them and
Right.
kind of doing different things. But it's like when if you put a racehorse next to a trekking horse, they
Yeah,
look totally different.
I'm
You
sure.
put them next to each other, you'll see one's like thin, like an athlete, but the other one's like a bodybuilder, but still has the
Ah,
same stamina.
gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew a lot about horses, and back when I rode them, there was no internet, so there wasn't a way to research. So you had to go and experience it.
Yeah.
That was it. So you traveled, man. You have traveled a lot.
I want to
It's
travel
really
more.
cool. Yeah, it's cool that you've been to the States and traveled all around. A bunch of different, really pretty areas in America, because Idaho, Wyoming, Arizona, you said Flagstaff. There's there's
It
a
was
lot of, yeah, really good pretty areas around there.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning around there. Like, I loved every single second of being there. And I was supposed to be going back in, I think it was 2020, but then obviously COVID came around and it
Uh,
ruined it. Because I was like, oh, I'll
yeah.
come back in 2 years. And that just never happened. I was absolutely gutted. But unfortunately, there were some wildfires in Idaho where my friend lives, and their whole neighborhood was burnt to the ground. So
Oh my
they lost
God.
their house. Because I was arranging actually to go out and to surprise her, because they allowed flights back to the States, but then it was quite a difficult time. Like, they're still going through it. Their house is still like being in it's being rebuilt. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a big thing. Like, they lost everything, and obviously because they moved from the UK to the US, my
Right.
friend had like photos of us all in like junior school, and like just memories, and they
Oh,
lost everything. All of her
yeah.
memories were gone. So
Yep.
like within that period, I was trying to find photos of us together at school, including photos of her mom, because her mom was in the UK quite a lot, and she didn't have anything to go off. So
Huh.
it was quite difficult, and at the
Yeah.
moment they're still rebuilding their lives, so it's going to be a while before I can go back, but we are definitely trying to arrange that.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
just insane.
Yeah. Those pictures when I before I started this YouTube channel, I went through a period where I was looking for things to do, and I went and got all of our old photo albums, and I started taking pictures with my phone of each page, and then I would edit them. I would zoom in to this picture, because there'd be like, photo albums, you have like five or
Yeah.
six pictures, and I would zoom in and save each one. And I have hundreds and hundreds of old pictures from when we were kids, because I got my mom, when I went to visit her, I got her old photo albums from when we were growing up and when she was a kid. Like, I took
Yeah.
all these, I wanted digital copies of all these things. And my wife and I took all of ours from when our kids were little. I got her parents' photo albums and did that as well. And but that's exactly why I was doing that, because I wanted
Yeah.
something to pass on to our kids if something happens, because not only that, but they fade, like
Yeah.
there's risk of losing them that way or any kind of other, disaster. But, they start fading. You can barely see them. And so I started taking these and saved them in a couple different places, on like my Google Drive or whatever. But yeah, that is, I'm sure that's devastating for your friend to have that happen,
Yeah.
especially a whole neighborhood like that. I mean, you hear about these wildfires here in America. California is a big one because it's
Yeah.
so dry in certain areas, and but it's dry, but it's not like a desert. Desert, nothing's going to burn. Like, it's
No.
just sand. But it's dry in areas where there's like a forest, huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of these areas were over the last 5 years or whatever, they've had an issue with wildfires. I don't watch the news very much, so I didn't know about the one in Idaho. Where your friend's
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. It was. I think it was it early last year? I think, can't remember now. Like, time
Yeah,
goes so quickly at the moment. But
for sure.
I just know, like, she posted a picture. Her mom posted a picture of the house, and it was just, there was nothing left. It was
Oh my
completely
God.
just ground level, and my friend's bedroom was in the basement, so you could see her. Like, it was that bad. You could see the bit where her bedroom used to be,
Oh
because
my gosh.
you could just see the hole in the ground, and the cars were burnt. The caravan was got, like, literally everything was gone, and they've just had to rebuild their whole lives. And it's like, they're a family. They've got 3 younger children, and then my friend that's the same age as me, and then her mom and her stepdad that all live in this house, and they've been having to live. Luckily, when they moved out, a couple of cousins went out with them
Okay.
and moved out not that far away, so they ended up just living with cousins in the area.
Yeah.
But nobody ever wants to go through that, and you never think that you're going to be having to try and find photos for your friend who's lost everything. Like,
Yep.
you never think you're going to have to do that.
Right.
And yeah, it was quite upsetting at the time, but I'm hoping it ends soon, and I know they've still got really high spirits. Their whole community raises money. They do music in the park events. They do kind of just fundraising. They sell cookies. Like, they do as much as they can to help raise money for the whole community, and they're still helping everybody else in their community despite them struggling as well. So yeah,
sound like good people.
They are good people.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you got some good friends.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, is your family supportive of you playing airsoft?
My mom was a bit skeptical the first time,
Yeah.
but she knew I was with good company, so she knew I could be looked after. But I think for her, it's when she sees me in all of my tactical gear, she's like, "Oh my god, what is my daughter doing?" But me and my boyfriend are actually trying to convince my dad to come with me,
Nice.
to come with us to one game. Because my other half, he's got quite a few different guns that he thinks that my dad will be able to use. So he's up for it. He's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Nice.
But yeah, my mom's a bit like about it. She'd never come, but
Yeah.
she when she first saw me in all my tactical gear, she kind of rolled her eyes like, oh, here we go, another obsession.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I was talking to another lady in the UK, Vixen is her call sign, whatever. Yeah, and she said, she was talking to her parents, and she's like, yeah, I shot my mom, just let her see how. I said, you shot your mom? You're terrible. You're horrible. You can't do that. Oh, yeah.
We have like this ritual in our team where if you get a new gun, you have to be shot with it. So
That's cool.
If you buy a new gun, you have to be shot by one person in the team with that gun. If you win a gun, aka me winning my SCAR,
right?
If you win a gun, you have to be shot by everybody available in the team on site that day.
Oh,
so we have a team of, I think, 9 players, possibly. Now, luckily, the first game I went to when I had my SCAR with me, there was only 4 other members of our team on site that day. So I only had to get shot by 4 people. But if the whole team was there, that would have hurt. But we actually shot my boyfriend with his SCAR H in my back garden. We let our neighbours know that they'd be hearing weird noises, but we're just shooting him in the back garden. They're like, what? It's a new gun. He bought it. He needs to be shot by somebody, so I'm going to do it. So he like stood halfway down the garden. I got him right in the kidney. He turned around and put his back to me. I was like, that's a silly move. And then I tried to get my mom to shoot him, but she didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think if she did it once, I think she'd find it fun. But I don't think it's something she'd get into. she's a primary school teaching assistant, so I don't think it would go down well with her bosses if she was caught in tactical gear out in an airsoft field.
Yeah, she's this teacher at school, whatever, like working with the kids, and then her, they see all these photos of her like geared up, holding a, airsoft gun. Like they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she works for Church of England school as well, so I definitely don't think it would go down very well if she was doing her teaching assistant job in the main and then airsoft in the afternoon. I don't think that would go down well.
Probably not.
She
mom
bruises easily as well, so it's definitely no.
Yeah. Well, especially as we get older, it's bruising easy, and that's a common thing. My mom, she came out to visit a couple years ago, and we had a big party. There was something going on. That's usually when she comes out to visit, because my mom lives in a different state. She lives about it's like a 9 or 10 hour drive from where we live.
Right.
So she came down, and we were the next day we were actually filming something for our YouTube channel. So my boys were here, their friend was here, JP, and we were setting up some targets for them to shoot. These little metal airsoft targets.
Yeah.
So we set up. So my mom was out there watching, and so we set up a table with all these different pistols on the table. I think we had like 6 or 7 pistols set out, all gas blowback. So my mom's like, "Oh, I want to try that." Now, when she said that, I got to tell you, I was really surprised because when I was growing up, she was really against guns. So, like, really, when my dad bought me my first BB gun, like a little air rifle, I was 12, and she was, like against it. But so for her to say that, I was like, okay, all right, come on. So we went out there, and I have a video of her shooting. And she's in her 70s, so it was really funny to see, and she had a blast. I mean, she loved it, and we just showed her the basics, and then hey, go ahead, So we gave her a couple of mags and showed her how to reload and stuff. It was so funny, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun!" So I was drinking, as always. So I threw my beer can out there. I was like, "Shoot that," like. So we had a good time. But, she would obviously never, want to play airsoft.
Yeah.
But she loves that. She's like, when I come back to visit, I want to do that again,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have like younger cousins that find it like quite cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'd want to go onto it. I think it's just because I got shot in the nose at the CQB site.
Yeah.
And it left quite a mark. And when my cousin saw that, he was like, "Oh my god, what happened? What happened? Like, did that hurt?" I'm like, it didn't actually hurt as much as it looks like it should have.
Right.
But I think the mark alone was enough for him to go, "No, I'm not doing it."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you pull up videos of those guys,
yeah.
Yeah. When you see those videos of those guys with BB stuck in their lip and they have to like push it out, or their cheek or something, or eyebrow, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like, nope, not. I don't want to try it.
No, I got shot in my arm, like here, and I had a symmetrical one on this side as well, which was great.
Oh, jeez.
I had like a helmet on and my goggles, and I managed to somehow squeeze through the gap and hit me in the forehead.
I've seen that.
But
before.
It was the one that it literally got me right here. So if it had been a millimeter more to my right eye, it would have hit my goggle. But no, it skimmed my nose, and I just felt blood. And I just thought it was the pain initially. Yeah. And then I kind of put my finger to my face because I had a hole cut out in my glove. So finger to my, I was like, "What's going on?" Went like that. I was like, "Oh, I'm bleeding. I need to get out of here." So I ran back to the safe zone. Like, people on the way out were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm just bleeding. It's fine." And when I went downstairs, they had unicorn plasters on the day. So I was like, "1 unicorn plaster, please." And showed them my face like dripping with blood. And they're like, "Oh my God, I think it's going to take more than a unicorn plaster." It's like, "It's fine. It's just a lot of blood. I don't know where it's all coming from, but yeah."
Oh my gosh. So a plaster, what's a plaster? I don't know.
Like a Band-Aid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I kind of assumed that's what it was, but I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we call them plasters, not Band-Aid.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay,
it had like
cool.
pretty unicorns and rainbows all over it, so
sure.
I looked great for the rest of the day at Airsoft. All my tactical gear, my Airsoft Band-Aid on my nose.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we Band-Aids, whatever. My granddaughter, we buy extra Band-Aids. My granddaughter's 3. So when my son only lives like 15 minutes away. So when she comes to visit, she loves putting Band-Aids on. Just like she uses them like stickers. So we buy. I think we have 5 different boxes of kids Band-Aids for all the different. She loves that. I can't remember the name of the kids movie, but the ice, some kind of, Frozen. It's called
Frozen.
Frozen.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, she's just putting them all over on her face, on her arms, everywhere. And like, oh, that box is gone, in one day. Oh yeah, that's funny. So what's the next big event you guys are going to, or that you're excited about?
I don't think we've got anything planned just yet. We've got a couple of the team getting married over the next year or so. So
Oh, okay.
we've got the first wedding with two of our team members are in April. So we've got their hens and stag do's coming up, which will be fun. And then
What's
another
that?
couple. So
So
they're
is
like,
that like bridesmaids?
yeah, like bachelor parties and bachelorette
Yeah.
parties. We call them hen do's and stag do's. Don't know
Hen
why.
do's and stag do's.
Just
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
love
So
learning this,
a hen
different stuff about
do
the culture.
is yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hen do is the bachelorette party, and the stag do is the the bachelor
Oh, okay.
party. Yeah, so we've got those coming up, and we've got two of our other teammates got engaged last in, I think it was December. It was the week before Christmas, I think it was.
Okay.
The whole team was there to witness it. It was amazing. I was
Oh,
videoing
that's
it and
cool.
crying my eyes out at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it was like all Christmas themed. It was gorgeous. But I think they're planning for next year. So got
Yeah.
a lot of weddings to prepare for. So I don't think anybody's actually thought about an airsoft event yet.
Yeah.
But I know a couple of us want to do a couple of weekenders if we can, if the weather is going to be good. We'll have to see how it all goes.
Yeah.
But I know we definitely want to go back to some CQB sites. We need
Okay.
to, we want to arrange something with Team Blackout, which are the team that we met at the CQB site a couple of weeks ago. So
Yeah.
we want to try and arrange going to play with Team Blackout at their indoor site where they normally play, and also bring them down to Airsoft Plantation to see how they fare outdoors.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So you guys, you met them at the CQB field. Does that team play like skirmishes and stuff in the woodlands?
No, so basically the Team Blackout, we met them at the West Midlands Airsoft High Command site, which is basically inside an old warehouse.
Oh, that's cool.
And they usually play at a bigger indoor centre, more kind of up to the top end of the UK. So
Yeah.
they kind of come down because one of their guys was local to the West Midlands one. So they said they've kind of invited us up there to see them and play with them up there in their local site. And then we said to them they need to come down and give outdoor a little bit of a go at Airsoft Plantation with us. So it'd be pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that is that's the fun thing too, is when you branch out and you try different things, especially in the wintertime where you can't really play outside too much. If it's raining like crazy, if it's a light rain, you can still shoot. But the heavy rains and the winds, there's no point. Like your BB's not making it very far, in those situations.
We were talking, like a couple of friends of ours went to an outdoor site and they were just like, our BBs are just doing this and just not going anywhere. So it's like,
over here,
Yeah. You got no hopes of hitting your target in an outdoor when it's windy and heavy rain. But we when we're outdoors, we don't mind some light rain. We quite enjoy it because it keeps you cool. You're running around with about 5-10 kilos worth of gear on. You don't mind a tiny bit of rain keeping you cool.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when I was training, doing a lot of training, we always loved the when it would be like a light rain. I was like, oh, it's so refreshing because we're running forever, and so when you're and I was always stationed in hot areas, so when it would rain, we're like, thank you. But now where I live now in South Carolina, it's I love the heat. I don't like the rain. It's hard, I mean, I edit a lot, there's things to do inside, but I'd rather be outside doing stuff.
Yeah.
The rain kind of dampers that.
See, I'm always cold as a person. Like, my other half is absolutely fed up of it because I'm always freezing cold. I have to have a duvet. Like, in between games, I'm there with like a massive coat on, sat in the car dithering with the heating on. So I'm like, I'm cold, I need to warm up. And even when we're indoors, I'm freezing, and I stood there with like 3 jackets on me because I'm so cold. But when it's to the point where, I mean, obviously it gets a lot hotter over there than it does here, but here, if it's hotter than 20 degrees Celsius, I'm out. I am not running across the field in 20-degree heat. It's not happening.
How dare you? You're tough. You were in gymnastics now. Come on.
If I'm out in above 20 degrees Celsius heat, I'm walking. I am not running. There's no way you'll catch me running across the field. Because even though I like being heat, that's it. I'm not I can reach. I'm ginger. Like, if I'm in the sunlight, redheads and sun don't match at all very well. I just get sunburnt really easily.
Oh, so gotcha. Right.
And I just think I just don't deal with sunlight heat very well.
Yeah.
Being a redhead, you kind of stay indoors when you're younger because you're too scared to get sunburnt because you know how much it hurts. I mean, I get worse as I get older. So as I've gotten older, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'm only out in the sun for half an hour. No sun cream on. 20 minutes later, I'm bright red. So I don't learn. But I think as a kid, when you're ginger and you're like bright red hair, you try and stay indoors as much as possible to prevent getting sunburnt.
Gotcha.
But then, so as you get older, it's kind of becomes second nature. Once it gets above a certain temperature, you're like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in the shade. I'm not going out. I'm staying indoors with the whole like cold on, everything. No. Because you have the benefit of air conditioning in buildings. In the UK, that's really rarely heard of. So, like, literally nearly every house I visited in America and I visited had air conditioning in their house. It was like, I don't have that here. I have a fan that circulates the warm air around my house and doesn't keep me cool.
Oh, really?
Like, yes. Like, in summer, if we get like a heat wave, that's classed as 32 degrees Celsius. So warm, very, but for me, that's boiling temperature. I'm in an oven at that stage, and like we have to hang like ice cubes in front of our fan to try and get cool air. Or we have no air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Just it's not heard of. It's a cold country, so we have more rain and snow than we have heat. And when we do have a heat wave, everybody goes insane. But I can't deal with that heat. There's no way.
Oh, it's uncomfortable. Like when you're trying to sleep. Yeah, when you're trying to sleep and you're not like, if you're where you grew up is not normally hot, like you're not used to that, then you try to sleep at night when it's just humid and the air's not moving. Like even a fan, if it's real high humidity and it's real hot, that fan doesn't do shit. No. Like it's like putting a hairdryer on you. So with wet air, But it doesn't cool you off. It's it's very uncomfortable to try to sleep like that. You're just like, bro, you just keep a glass of water by your bed and just keep like splashing water all over you.
It's the worst as well when you're like there in your tactical gear. You've got your vest on. You've got all your stuff. You're carrying like a 5-kilo gun around. It's like, I want to go to bed and get in an ice bath or something. It's just insane. You see everybody there with like a fan on their lunch break or just stood there like wafting themselves with something because they're that warm.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because that you guys don't have like central air like we do, because you don't have a whole lot of months out of the year that's hot. But I remember when I was in the military, my first duty station was in Okinawa, Japan. That's a tropical environment. So it's real hot and very humid. It looks beautiful. It kind of looks like a lot of areas kind of look like Hawaii as far as like the foliage and stuff, but it was so fucking hot. I was like, bro, I can barely breathe over here. And I was part of a chemical warfare team. So it was a nuclear biological chemical warfare team. They call it NBC team. So we had to wear we call it the Gumby suit. It was a full rubber, hazmat suit basically, and a
Yeah.
little more durable. But and every area is taped up, like so nothing can get, airborne or whatever could get in. And we would train with that when it's 100 degrees out and like 90% humidity. And I'm like, dude, holy shit. I mean, it was, that was probably the hottest that I was as far as, having to wear the suit and stuff. But, and we would train like that for, like all day. So it was the whole day from morning till night. But when you would strip out of that and then try to sleep at night, you're cooler than where you were when you had the suit on, and it's nighttime. But it was so hard to like. We're just like, dude, more of this is better because we're sleeping. But then you're dehydrated as shit,
Yeah.
Mm.
That's just my worst nightmare, probably.
So
I
you
remember
guys,
once, like, we went to Airsoft Plantation and I was like, yeah, it's cold this morning. I think it was like 5 degrees Celsius. I was like, it's not going to warm up. It's fine. Like, it's going to be cold. So I had some leggings underneath my combat trousers and like a t-shirt underneath my tactical top. And when we got to probably game 2, I was overheating that much. I think it got to like 15 degrees Celsius. For me, that was hot, but the sun was on us. There was not a cloud in the sky after about 10 a.m. So, but from that point, I was in pure sunlight. I had all these layers on, my tactical kit. I had my scar, which is like 4.5 kilos. I was just like, I can't do this. I had to leave halfway through a game so I could just get half of my gear off and just change what I was wearing because I was that hot. I was like, I'm going to pass out in a minute. And that was at 15 degrees Celsius. I haven't played at a game hotter than, I think, 23 at the moment. So God help me if we end up at a game in like 30-degree heat. I think if I play in a game more than 20 degrees Celsius, I think I will actually die because I can't deal. I couldn't deal with 15 degrees Celsius, so God help me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, look, if you ever come back to the States and play over here in the summertime, even if it's in Idaho, Idaho gets pretty cold in the winter. But if you play over here in the summer, be prepared because it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I went there during, I think that when I went over in 2018, it was June.
Yeah.
So I was there for the 4th of July celebration as well. So we went like out boating and things. And but yeah, that was warm. I think the day we went to the Grand Canyon, it was 32 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And how they heat in the Grand Canyon, like the lower you go, the hotter it gets. The temperature recording at the very base of the canyon, I think, was like 50 degrees Celsius. So they closed it off at a certain point because they're like, if you go any lower than this, you will die. You will actually die, and we can't save you. So like, we're not going for a hike down the Grand Canyon today. We'll just go around the top.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a hot day.
It's a beautiful spot, though.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's definitely something. You see the photos, but it doesn't give it any justice.
No.
When you're actually there looking at it. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's cool. It's so cool that you're able to, have that where you've traveled all these places and have some good experiences like that.
Yeah, I've been quite lucky, I think.
Yeah.
Even my dad's friend schedules like exhibitions places, and we in October 2019, so literally right before the COVID pandemic hit everywhere, we were in Borneo, in Malaysia for
Oh, wow.
nearly 3 weeks, and that absolutely has been my favourite trip so far. We did so much out there. We like went up Mount Kinabalu, the mountain that's there. We went
Oh
to
my
orangutan
God.
sanctuaries. We did river cruises through the middle of the jungle, like literally staying in a shack in the middle of nowhere. And in the
Wow.
morning, you just got on like a little canoe boat and went down the river for a bit of an explore and like see wild orangutans and big nose monkeys and like all these creatures. It was just incredible, like going through the jungle in the middle of the night and seeing a bush baby on a tree. Like that was incredible.
Oh my
um
gosh.
and like doing white water rafting, I was like, that was incredible and so fun.
Yeah.
um and just the whole place, like it was somewhere you knew there were like wherever you go there's a bad side of town that you know not to go
Right.
near.
Yeah.
But when I was there, I mean, this was back in 2019, so like, I'm 25 this year, so I wasn't really that old, if you say, like, if
Yeah.
you think about it. But I'd get out of we stayed in a backpackers kind of lodge, and
Okay.
I'd just go out and just go for a walk around the town and go to the local shopping centre. And
Right.
I felt comfortable doing that on my own. And even anywhere else I've ever been, I'm like, no, I'm not going out on my own. Somebody needs to come with me.
Yeah.
But in Borneo, honestly, the place stole my heart. If anybody, I always say this, if anybody ever has the opportunity to go there, just take it, because
Really.
it's literally can be a once in a lifetime opportunity. But
Huh.
for me, my dad knows the guy who organises the trips, so he's actually looking to organise it again. So hopefully, I get an opportunity to go again.
That is
And
cool.
fingers crossed. It's not cheap, so a lot of saving needs to be done. But it's just so worth it. So worth it.
Huh. Yeah, that's really cool. That is something that most people, if they don't get out of where they grew up, and travel and see these different cultures, and especially somewhere like that, it's you're kind of limited on how you think about the
Yeah.
world. Even with social media and videos, and where you can see all these different places in the world, if you don't go there and experience it, uh, it, you know, it really helps to do those things and see these, how they live. And that was a big kind of epiphany for me when I went in the military. When I went to Okinawa, it was like there were still people. This is 1990 when I went there. There
Mm,
were still people living in grass huts, like
yeah.
like outside of where I was, the little base. Okinawa is very, very small. It's like 60 miles long and 20 miles wide or something like that. And so it's a really small island off of Japan. But, the biggest thing I realized when I went there was how connected we are as human beings. And we have different cultures, different beliefs, religions, things like that. But it was a huge eye opener for me to, just how we have that human connection where it's doesn't matter where you come from, what you believe, the respect and having good manners obviously is we're all connected in a way that is really cool.
Yeah, definitely saw that in Borneo as well. It was just like, even just being able to respect the currency differences. So
Yeah, what do they use over
in
there?
it's called Malaysian ringgit, and
Okay.
it was basically for every 5 British pounds, it was 1 Malaysian ringgit. So like, you go to, there was McDonald's there. I had to have a McDonald's in Borneo, because
Yeah.
what else would you?
Right.
You could say I've had a McDonald's in Borneo. Like, it's
Right.
the only thing. Yeah, exactly. So I had a large meal, because living, yeah, had a large meal, and the cup was about, like, literally the cup was like this. It was huge, like nowhere near what we're used to in the UK.
Okay.
So I had this massive meal, and it cost. Oh no, so it was, yeah. So £1 British, sorry, 5 Malaysian ringgits, not the other way around. So yeah, £1 British
Gotcha.
is 5 Malaysian ringgits. So
Yeah.
I paid, I think it was like 8 or 9 Malaysian ringgits for this
Yeah.
McDonald's meal. So it cost me like £1.60. The McDonald's meal in the UK cost me £5.80.
Right.
So like, but when I say something to people about the cost, I always say that. Sorry, my mom's just popped her head through the door to say something to me. So
It's okay.
I'm trying
No,
to
you're
focus
fine.
on what she was saying.
You go ahead. Hey there.
Don't knock my light over. Yeah. So whenever anybody says to me like, "What's Borneo like?" or like tries to compare it, I'm like, look, we tipped our mountain guide, I think, £200, and he told us that was his year's wages. So we gave him
Oh my
£200 to say
God.
thank you for taking us up a mountain, which we didn't actually think was a lot. And he
Yeah.
was like, "This is the same amount I get in a year." And like, he
Holy
cried. It's just insane. It was like,
Yeah.
what? And I mean, I know he mainly is just going down mountains, so obviously it's a seasonal thing. You can't do it all year round. But still, when you think of £200, you don't think of that being somebody's wages for a full year.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing. So yeah, when I say to people, "Oh, my McDonald's cost me like £1.60," it just goes to show the differences.
Yeah.
And yeah, that country stole my heart. I love Borneo so much. I miss
That is
it.
cool.
I only
Yeah.
went once. I spent 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks there, and I look at the photos that I've got from there, and I melt because they're just incredible. I
Yeah.
just love I love the place. It's so beautiful.
That is cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about Borneo. I guess in what I've heard or seen in movies, where they talk about it, just in a small scene or something. But yeah, it's somewhere I don't have experience with. But we had similar experiences when we were in Okinawa, and then we went to South Korea. It was very similar, where people were living in grass huts, and me and my buddy, I actually have. I was always the one taking pictures. So even in the military, I don't hardly have any of me in the military. I think I've got like 2, maybe 3. But I was always on the other end of the camera. And I have a photo. It's one of my favorite pictures. One of the guys I served with, his last name was Russ. And we were giving our MREs that we were, issued to this family. This South Korean family, they had 2 little kids. So the picture I have is him holding this lady's like 2-year-old son, and it's cold. Like everyone's bundled up. It was like 50 below zero, and he's giving her this MRE, and she told him this. We had a translator there, but one of the locals, and this lady said this was like enough food for them for like a week, and it was one meal for one of us, and we were just blown away, man. It was I guess the same thing kind of happened. It was when you see people living like that, when you grow up in a different kind of prosperous area, it is it really changed me as a person. It made me realize, one thing, like I said earlier, how we're connected, but also just, like you put aside your differences from all these other things, the culture and religion and all this other stuff that typically countries go to war over. And you put aside that because you see these people that they don't have the same thing you grew up with, or, and it's not like it's because they choose that. It was like literally they're trying to make it with where they're at and what they have available. But yeah, it was really, I had a lot of touching moments like that, learning or experiencing those kind of things with different people in these different countries.
Seeing if I turn my Wi-Fi off now, my battery's getting low. Oh no.
Oh shit. Are you recording on your phone right now?
Oh, this is on my phone, yeah.
Oh my God, it looks awesome. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean it's lagging out a little bit, but it looks good.
I've turned my Wi-Fi off now, so hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, I've got 17% battery on my phone.
Oh no! Well, we've been.
That's why I texted you before. I was like trying to boost it before. While I was cleaning my car, I was using it as a radio so I could listen to music while I was cleaning my car outside. Right. I completely forgot that my battery was nearly dead already. So as soon as I finished cleaning my car, I was like, oh, I've got probably 45 minutes before I need to start getting ready for this. And then by the time I put everything away, it was like, 10% battery. I was like, no. So I was like trying to run to quickly kind of get it all charged before. So I think I managed to get to 67% before we started.
Oh, good. Well, it's worked out. Worked out good so far. You're it's lasted a while. We've been talking for, a little over an hour. And yeah, it's doing good. So, well, before we start wrapping up, what would you recommend for future or brand new airsofters? So 2 questions, I guess, or 2 parts. But what would you recommend for a new airsofter? Gear, maybe online, like who to connect with, where to connect. Let's say if they're in your area or whatever. And also, as a female airsofter, what kind of clothing do you buy?
So I suppose for beginners, like I said at the start, my other half bought me pretty much most of my initial kind of startup gear. So he bought me my vest and whatnot. But we kind of went on eBay because if you just starting out and you're not sure whether you're going to stick with it, I think you don't want to go mad on ridiculously costing kind of gear. Right. And then especially if you're a female, because if you buy something, you're either going to change your mind because you don't want it doesn't work when you're on the field. And I have 3 different varieties of woodland camo trousers now, because I bought a pair that I started out in, but they just used to annoy me. I didn't like them. So I wore them a couple of times. So I was like, no, I'm going to buy a new pair. So I bought a new pair. I was like, yeah, these are good. These fit fine. And I was like, no, I want one with knee pads. So I was then trying to get one with knee pads that I was like, okay, great, knee pads. But then when I went into CQV, I was like, well, I want black and grey ones. I don't want woodland camo indoors. I want black and grey. So I was buying more. But yeah, with being a female airsofter, it's so difficult to find clothes. You have to get men's. Because if you buy women's, it's 3 times more expensive. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
But I actually work at a sporting retail store in the UK called Decathlon. And we sell some camo gear for the hunting, cross-country hunting that people in the UK do. So I actually get a lot of my stuff from there now. So I have new woodland camo t-shirts that I wear to airsoft now that I've bought from work. I've got some black and grey woodland black and grey camo trousers. They're without knee pads, but they're for CQB. You've probably seen my photos that I put up recently. But they're so comfortable.
Oh yeah,
they are the most comfortable cargo trousers I've ever bought.
That last picture you posted, it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so those black and grey ones I actually bought from where I work, and they're
Okay.
just so comfortable. And me and my other half actually have them in plain black just to wear around the house or to wear if we're going like for a walk or something, just because they're so so comfy.
Yeah.
But I think one brand, like as a female airsofter, the one thing I struggled with the most was face protection,
Ah.
because my face is small. When I got a normal 6-inch like face protector, it came down to like here. So every time
Oh
I
shit.
looked down, it hit on my vest and then like pushed up into my face, pushed
Oh
my
my.
goggle, like pushed my glasses up. So I was like, oh, what do I do now? So I spoke to my friend who has one, and I was like, oh, actually, well, it's a company called One Tigress, and they
Yep.
mainly do like dog tactical like clothing, like military kind of looking clothing. So they do like the dog vests that have like the patches on the side and the
Right.
goggles and the whatnot for the dogs as well. Like a 4.5-inch face mask.
Oh.
So I've then was able to get a 4.5-inch face covering, and it was perfect. It was the perfect size
Nice.
face mask. It's not absolutely massive. Definitely One Tigress, 100%, because that 4.5-inch literally sits right under my chin. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting my microphone.
That's okay.
Sits right under my chin, doesn't go up or anything. And it's great.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah, it's definitely. I wish I'd known about it before. I'm gonna have to say my battery is now at 10%, so I'm afraid
Okay.
I might black out
Hey,
in a
we're
minute. It might die.
well, listen, it's been really good to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to our next one.
Happy to meet you too.